You want the item inside perfectly visible, but physically inaccessible. That is the core paradox of the glass display case. It is easy to assume that locking down something so fragile requires clamping thick, destructive heavy metal hardware directly onto the panes. But turning a see-through box into a vault relies on a specific coordination of physics, geometry, and psychology. Once you understand the hidden engineering keeping these doors shut, you realize transparency doesn't equal vulnerability. This cross-section reveals how modern locks bypass the drill. They use pure friction, compressing industrial rubber pads tightly against the glass. But over-tightening creates a tightness trap, concentrating pressure onto a microscopic point, a stress riser. A fraction of a millimeter of extra force causes the tempered glass to instantly spiderweb into thousands of pieces. To prevent this, designers have to account for a hidden geometrical flaw. Tempered glass edges are rarely flat. They have a subtle, microscopic curve. Lock pads must be precisely contoured to match this rounded edge. This distributes the clamping force evenly, stopping the metal from violently slipping under pressure. Securely attaching metal to glass requires perfectly managing those geometric tolerances and tensions to prevent a catastrophic failure. The true weakness of a display cabinet isn't the pane itself. It is the kinetic travel path of the sliding doors. In this 3D wireframe, a metal cam lock secures the cabinet by rotating into the exact millimeter of negative space, blocking the sliding path. But wooden frames swell and shrink with humidity, constantly altering how these doors overlap. Ratchet locks fix this by clicking tooth by tooth along a bar to absorb environmental shifts. This keeps the swelling wood from crushing the glass against a static piece of hardware. The ultimate lock bypasses the exterior completely. A hidden latch sits behind the glass, releasing only when a magnetic key waves over a precise spot. The most sophisticated mechanical locks don't rigidly fight the cabinet's kinetic movement. They dynamically adapt to it, or hide from it completely. Despite flawless mechanics, security frequently fails in retail environments because busy employees simply leave locks open to save time. Plunger locks solve this. With a push-to-lock mechanism, a worker secures the cabinet in a fraction of a second without reaching for a key. Even when used correctly, maintenance habits destroy them. When a mechanism gets sticky, the instinct is to spray liquid oil, but this attracts dust and hardens into a concrete-like sludge. To keep the mechanism moving, you must use a dry lubricant like graphite. Human visual perception dictates the finish, too. Premium, shiny chrome hardware looks tough, but inadvertently blinds museum visitors by reflecting spotlight glare. This pushes curators toward matte black finishes that safely absorb the light. Yet the ultimate vulnerability remains the physical key. Humans lose them, copy them, and leave them in the wrong hands. Upgrading to RFID or Bluetooth smart locks eliminates the physical key entirely. It creates a digital audit trail, recording exactly who opened the door and when. A lock's true effectiveness relies heavily on how intelligently it accounts for human behavior, perception, and error. That simple display case is actually a sophisticated intersection of mechanical tension and human logic. Securing it successfully requires a mastery of pure friction, dynamic ratchets, glare-absorbing finishes, and digital oversight. The evolution of these mechanisms proves that the most advanced security measures are explicitly designed to remain completely unnoticed by the general public. High-level security relies on these invisible, adaptable barriers to protect what we value while remaining completely hidden in plain sight.